It shocked Nashville tremendously.
After a week of questions, Nashville finally got some answers.
Devaunte Hill, age 21, for the murder of Nashville nurse Caitlin Kaufman.
Just before sunrise, Metro SWAT officers arrested Devaunte Hill in his East Nashville apartment. Later in an interview with investigators, he told them something that would seal his fate.
And without going into detail, which I cannot do at this point, Hill gave a statement implicating himself in Caitlin's murder.
Just 24 hours earlier, police seemed to be at a dead end. Then a few local business owners raised the reward money up to $65,000. A tip that would make all the difference came in just an hour later.
A concerned citizen came forward Thursday afternoon and identified Hill as a suspect. The concerned citizen also provided information about the whereabouts of the 9mm used in the murder.
Using ballistic analysis, experts were able to connect that gun to bullet casings found at the crime scene. And then another piece of evidence came into play.
We have determined that Hill's cell phone was in the vicinity the night Caitlin was killed.
Perhaps the biggest question surrounding this case, was this targeted or was this a random act of violence? Metro Police tell us the two didn't know each other. Many questions still remain, like will there be more arrests and why Caitlin? Those answers may come later. In the meantime, those that loved her can return their attention to remembering her life.
An incredibly tragic case, but again, we're learning a lot more tonight about the case. Let's take a listen now. We've got the press conference and Police Chief John Drake from the Metro Nashville PD leading all of that as we get more details in this tragic shooting of this nurse.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here for this morning's news conference as we update the homicide investigation into the murder of Caitlin Kaufman. Speaking with you this morning will be Chief John Drake, followed by Detective Chris Dickerson, our lead investigator in this case. Also with us this morning, Sergeant Byron DeWalt of the homicide unit, who is the immediate supervisor of the squad to which Detective Dickerson belongs. Chief Drake.
Good morning. At 6:15 this morning, members of our MNPD SWAT team arrested Devaunte Hill, age 21, for the murder of Nashville nurse Caitlin Kaufman. Hill was taken into custody without incident at his Berkshire Place apartment on Porter Road in East Nashville. Hill was brought to police headquarters where he was interviewed by homicide unit detectives Chris Dickerson and Jefferson Hughes. And without going into detail, which I cannot do at this point, Hill gave a statement implicating himself in Caitlin's murder. This investigation is continuing and cannot rule out the possibility of additional arrests. A major break came in this case within an hour of the announcement that an anonymous group of Nashville businessmen and entrepreneurs posted a $50,000 reward. I understand many of those persons involved in the rewards are dads who have families in Nashville and love Nashville deeply, and I thank them for their contribution. A concerned citizen came forward Thursday afternoon and identified Hill as a suspect. The concerned citizen also provided information about the whereabouts of the 9mm used in the murder. Our detectives located the gun Thursday night. We called in our ballistic experts overnight at the crime laboratory to do an immediate analysis. That gun was test fired, and we have a 100% match of the 3 9mm shell casings found on the corner of the road at I-440 the night Caitlin was killed. In addition, our electronic experts were able to identify Devaunte Hill's cell number and provider. We have determined that Hill's cell phone was in the vicinity the night Caitlin was killed. As you know, from day one, our team of detectives from our homicide unit has worked around the clock on this case. They have been joined by scientists from our crime laboratory, MNPD electronics experts, and partners of the FBI, ATF, and TBI. I cannot thank these men and women enough who are here today and have been working tirelessly. I thank you all for your hard work. I would like to ask our lead detective, Chris Dickerson, to say a few words.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning. At 3:37 this morning, I swore out a criminal homicide warrant against Devaunte L. Hill. It was a culmination of hundreds of hours of relentless work by the homicide unit, my team here, SID, and many others in the police department and law enforcement partners. While it was a relief to be able to sign the arrest warrant, it was an exceptional relief to be able to call Diane Kaufman, who is back in Pennsylvania right now. She's back in Pennsylvania. She returned to Pennsylvania yesterday to prepare for Caitlin's funeral, which is on Saturday. Devaunte Hill was brought to police headquarters this morning. He did consent to an interview. He did implicate himself in Caitlin's murder. At this time, I cannot elaborate beyond that for now. This investigation is continuing, and we cannot rule out additional arrests. Throughout this investigation, I have felt the support of all of Nashville and the strong support of the Kaufman family as we have worked to advance this case. Again, we are not finished, but I am glad to be in the position we are this morning. Thank you very much.
We can take a limited number of questions.
Can you clarify again who brought up Hill's name and how exactly?
It was simply a concerned citizen. I can't elaborate on that.
And so when you say he implicated himself, can you talk a little bit about more of that? Like, did he admit to shooting to kill her, or are you just saying like he said something that may, just clarify that for me?
I can't elaborate exactly what he said, but he said enough to swear out an arrest warrant and implicate himself in the homicide.
And at this time, do we know if they knew each other? Was this random?
I can confirm that they did not know each other, but beyond that, I won't add to anything, but I can confirm that they did not know each other. He did not know Caitlin.
What was the mother's response when you told her that you had gotten someone?
Ms. Kaufman's response? Obviously, it was a lot of tears, just joy. She said that she was able to get some closure before the funeral, and she expressed her gratitude to everybody that helped out, the entire department. Just because I'm lead, she wanted to express everyone, SID, homicide, Detective Chad Gish, and everyone, just say how thankful she was and how her family was and the Pennsylvania family was.
And of course, we'll continue to track this case as we get more and more information. And if and when there's a trial date, we'll let you know about that as well.